is the Newcastle fan, Paul Rutter, who hopefully is there ready to talk. So there he is. Hello, Paul. Loads for us to get into. Thanks for talking to us this morning. Let's start with Woltemade, of course. How happy are you with him? Do you think he's the best signing of that bunch?
Well, I'm more than happy with him. First of all, beautiful locks of hair. He looks the part, doesn't he? He looks the part. I love that. I mean, I wish I had. I've got hair envy, to be honest, watching him. But when you see him on the park, when you see him play, especially at St James's Park, what a player. He's took to life at Tyneside so well. And, 6 goals already so far? Absolutely, utterly fantastic. Look, I've lived through the likes of Andreas Andersen, Stefan Givage, Jondal Thomason. So I've seen some absolute and utter whoppers at St James's Park, but he is definitely not one of them.
So would you swap Woltemade for any of the others right now?
No, not an absolute chance. Obviously, 1,000% behind Eddie Howe and the choices that he made. Hugo Ekitike was obviously a player that was linked to us for a long time. I would have loved to have seen him at Newcastle United. He scored obviously painfully against us as well. Obviously the script was written for that one, wasn't it, in the game and stuff. But apart from that, I'm more than happy with the business that we did and for the money that we shelled out on him. It wasn't in modern day football a huge sum. So I think it was money well invested.
Paul, has this surprised you as well? Because obviously there was a lot of talk about Isak leaving, where would the goals come from? And Woltemade's just come in there and he's just hit the ground running from the get-go, hasn't he?
Yeah, totally. I mean, it's been a heavy load for him to be able to carry as well. Obviously, coming from one league to another, and not just that, but because of the injury we've had to Johan Visser as well, he's had to literally play every single minute of every single game. We've had a Sula who's come in and come out and offers little flashes and bits of inspiration, but he's had to do most of the heavy lifting by himself up there. And certainly at home at St James's Park, it's worked really well. Away from home, we are showing signs that we are missing Visser, but some of his, the touches, watching him, for such a big lad, his feet is unbelievable, he's quick, he's intelligent, he brings players in. And if anything, I think some of the other players maybe around him have let him down slightly in certain situations. The likes of Gordon hasn't hit the ground, hasn't scored in 20+ games. We need more from other players chipping in, but Woltemade has been absolutely class. Absolutely class.
He really has. But are you really telling me, forget the way that he behaved, are you really telling me you'd rather have Nick Woltemade right now than a peak and motivated Alexander Isak?
Well, you just broke up a bit there towards the end. The old signal, the old weather getting into the system. But look, I think it's obviously around about Isak. And look, at the end of the day, I would rather have Nick Woltemade at Newcastle United than Alexander Isak. The way that he went on, he was unprofessional over the summer. He was greedy, selfish, going on strike. I wasn't a fan of what he did, but I would have Woltemade all day long, leading the line. I just can't wait until we get Visser back and to see those maybe two playing together. That would be the one sort of thing. But with regards to Liverpool, I mean, we were at the Spurs game, the League Cup game, and probably one of the biggest cheers of the night was when the Liverpool score was read out, because everybody is having the day and having the moment, obviously, over Isak and his struggles, and enjoying it quite a lot, to be honest.
Yeah, I should say before you ask your question that Isak says obviously he has his own version of events and promises weren't kept as such. But yeah, what do you want to say?
Yeah, I mean, is it hard for you, Paul, to separate the emotion? Because for me, Matt was asking prime Isak or Woltemade now at this point of the season. If this was last season, I'm having Isak all day long. Yeah. I know it's hard to separate the emotion because of how you guys feel like he's gone on. I get that when it's your club and you wear your heart on your sleeve, but I do think that Isak is better.
Well, to be honest, in some ways, Woltemade is better than Isak in some ways. Obviously, he's got a long way to go at the moment, but if you look at some of his link-up play, how he drops deep, his passing, he's got some attributes which are better, but obviously Isak has other attributes which currently are better than Woltemade. But the main attribute that I'm looking for at the moment is a little bit of loyalty, a little bit of professionalism, a little bit of dedication, pride in the shirt and respecting the fans. And Isak at the end, unfortunately, ruined all of that from his antics. So as good as Isak was, and believe me, I watched probably the League Cup game back every day, every other day, the highlights package back of it. when the Isak goal goes in, I just sort of like wince a little bit and look away, and then just sort of try to look at the fans, the emotion, the passions, and relive what happened on that magical and special day. But Isak was great for us, but he absolutely ruined it. He ruined everything through his choices and the way that he decided to conduct business at the end of the day.
Before we let you go, Paul, I've got to ask you, about the season in general. How concerned are you by the away form at the moment? Because it's really holding you back.
It is. But like I touched upon before, I think we're missing Visser because we need that focal point. Woltemade does drop deep a lot to get the ball and receive the ball. He has played a lot as a number 10. And he's doing a job for us at the moment. But I think when Visser's back, he can go up top. And Woltemade can play in behind. I think that will help. And historically, we always start the seasons. I mean, last season we were about 12th in December, and we got the Champions League and we got the League Cup. If we got anywhere near that sort of level this season, I'd be delighted. But in Eddie Howe, we 1,000% trust. The man can walk on the River Tyne. He could have my PIN number and card any day of the week. Complete and utter trust in that bloke. So yeah, better times will come.
Yeah, I reckon Eddie will probably get in contact with us soon to see if he can get your number and just take you up on that, because everyone could do with someone else's card. Paul, thank you very much. Appreciate all your views. Excellent stuff.
No problem.